Square Enix, in all of their brilliance, decided to pull a little Final Fantasy XI fun into that and added some Final Fantasy XI backgrounds that you can download for Zoom calls. Even though I don't get it. This sounds like a job that you maybe give to like an intern. Like, hey, can you quick put together some Zoom backgrounds? But like, I'm assuming there's no interns on the Final Fantasy XI project anymore.
I mean, these are not Zoom backgrounds, guys. These are like,
that's the issue.
It's just a screenshot.
Do we want to chat about the general update, everything going on, all the Final Fantasy XI news?
Yep.
Zoom calls,
Zoom
assist channels.
Oh,
so we got the assist channel, which is, fantastic. They've increased the blacklist capacity from 100 people, so you can now blacklist 300 if you want to, which I have no idea who asked for this, but I suspect it's to do with like a workaround for the RMT issue, like the spam in yells. I'm guessing because they can't be asked to fix that problem, so they'll just, tuck it under a rug.
Man.
They added a bunch of amazing, interesting new weapons. And what delicious new content could we expect the testers to get them? Nothing. It's behind the log bonanza.
You'll never get those weapons, ever. You'll never see one of those ever in your life.
You can buy a ticket for 200k. It's now limited to 3 numbers, so your chances are increased, but the odds are still 1 in 1,000, so the chances are still pretty shit.
And you can only buy one, right?
Chance. Is that
and
true?
You can only buy one now, I think, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What a joke.
But, I mean, they've made, some cool items with...
Yeah.
You can't
Cat's
get
Eye's still in
in-game
there?
experience. It's completely out of the game, really.
Can't get XPs. You can't do capacity points. There's nothing fun to play.
What else was this week? Zoom calls.
Got some backgrounds
for Zoom calls, yeah.
We took a couple of snippets with using the Windows snipping tool and put them on our website for you.
Okay.
The majority of people that use those are people who aren't active subscribers, like nostalgia hunters.
Hunting for nostalgia.
All right. Let's start with it was exactly what happened. Let's start with a positive spin on the update. We're back to doing the monthly Ambuscade update. They did introduce something new with Odyssey in terms of how to earn the rewards, which is nice, I guess, if you felt that the drop rates weren't doing quite enough for you. New player experience, I guess, in theory, is improved by having this new assistance chat that you can engage in with a mentorship program that's slightly updated. But...
Yeah, sorry, you're being positive.
We're still being positive. This will be quick, don't worry. The Mog Bonanza, in theory, is a little bit more believable in terms of winners. Like, we should see a number of winners now across all servers because you've got a 1 in 1,000 chance. But yeah, with the one Margle, that's an interesting decision. But anyways,
so here's the
positive.
So the positive spin for me on the assist channel is that if there are that many new players joining this game every month, that to necessitate the need to update the assist channel, what that tells me is that they have that influx and they have that player base, which eventually down the line, a year from now or a year and a half from now, is going to lead to something cool and new and exciting and big for the end game. Because they have they're getting new people in and they're getting more subscriptions, and that's ultimately going to lead to them being able to do more stuff. Hopefully.
Here's my thing on that.
Plan.
I don't think they're getting new players. They might be selling more copies of the game to multi-boxes. They're not selling it to new. They're not having an uptake of new people playing Final Fantasy XI.
That's they need to
existing
figure out.
People buying it to have another character.
I do wonder if they're even optimistically assuming that they're going to have a draw on new players, and they're trying to ready the experience that they can retain some of those. But I think you guys are right. I don't know how many of those players are legitimately fresh Final Fantasy XI players.
Yeah, I feel like that's information they ought to release to the community. Like, in some
I don't
way.
think Square Enix will ever do that.
They'll never do. Well, I mean, they're happy to tell everybody they lost $48 million on Avengers, but they won't tell us how many new Final Fantasy 11.
I don't know if they. That was kind of weird. They came out and they're like, "By the way, guys, Avengers was a huge flop, big problem there," and everyone's like, "Neat." We didn't really know.
Like, if you want to make money on Final Fantasy 11, you know what the answer is.
No.
Make it free to play and have an item shop.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Like, make it like, oh, you want to. I don't know how that would work. It would have to be like they'd have to really think it. It couldn't just be like, oh, you want an Apollitary? That'll be $20. It can't just be that easy. It would need to be like.
But if it's a legitimate
hate
power
it.
creep,
Ruin
oh
the
my
game.
god! I think if they have anything outside of aesthetics, it would kill it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd be done forever.
Yeah, so would I.
I think the most annoying thing about this update is the spiel beforehand. Oh, it's the 11th month. It's going to be the bigger update. The Voracious Resurgence wasn't even in the digest. That's how much it tells you about this fucking quest item. It's supposed to be this big fucking deal.
They put
It's
a
not even
special.
in the update.
There's a special bomb in Ambuscade that spawns randomly to celebrate.
And it gives you
November.
100 hallmarks.
All right, so it's already
Where
happened.
is
But
skeletons?
Sorry.
let's take a deep turn into the negative here.
Am I wrong about these skeletons being out here? Is that not? Is that somewhere else? I'm thinking of these bogies.
No, they're in Valkyrie, dudes.
I don't see any skeletons.
You can fight them during parties. Ghouls.
I don't see them, man.
That's weird. So from the negative perspective, I think you hit the first one right away. It's the mindset that they set, the developers set, saying, "Hey, we're really sorry that October was lame, but November's going to be twice as good to make up for it." If they'd never said that, I would have been like, "All right, whatever." But as we were talking about in our Twitter chat,
Yeah.
like one of the biggest, most exciting things that was going on in Final Fantasy XI was the monthly updates to various jobs.
Yeah,
It felt so fresh and new and cool, and it was like changing how jobs worked in this 18-year-old game. And those have stopped entirely to be
Yeah.
replaced by apparently an assist channel, which is helping all those. Myself, the new player. Can I get the little leaf back? That's all I want. Give me the leaf.
I know, and it's not like the jobs are in a great place either. It's not like they accomplished their goal with that and they've stopped. They've just stopped. Like half the jobs are useless and no one plays them. And like people that love those jobs are like out of luck. It's like, oh, go level blue mage.
There are two mentors on the server right now. Yeah. So okay. So I think the negative side of the assist channel, if there can be any, is only that developer time was spent on that versus other things. I don't think that is the defining factor of what is ruining the new player experience is that they have nowhere to ask for help. I'd be shocked if like that is what's driving any new player away. Now they have an official channel. Chances are by the time they figure out that there is a channel to ask for questions, they've already left if they were even going to stay.
Yeah.
The new Odyssey change is interesting, but it's not really a change. It's just a different way to earn the rewards that were already there, which it would be cool, I guess, if we were playing Odyssey consistently and it's like it was that much fun that we wanted to do it. But we've already talked about how Odyssey is kind of like that one thing that you can do like once a day or once every couple of days. And we just wish there was an easier way to get in and do it more.
It's just more productive to do it on your own, which I think is a massive flaw to put in the
So the assist channel requirements for chatting: you have to be a new player or returnee. Players for whom at least 48 days have passed since their last login are classified as returnees, which is interesting because that means, I mean, if you're out of the game for 2 months, you're a noob. You're officially a returnee noob. You're not the
much.
full new player, but like they don't categorize you as a mentor of any
That's so
kind.
funny.
Which means that I probably can't be a mentor at this point because I'm not consistently playing every week.
Yeah. You have to be like in here every day doing your ambuscade.
But then different, responses and suggestions can be like voted upon as like correct, helpful, useful, worthless, which is interesting. But again, that probably took some effort to work on. To be a mentor, you have to play at least 180 hours or more, which is hysterical.
180 hours or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've covered that.
Do you think we've made it?
Can we check our playtimes and just see? On this alternate character, I have 723 days and 70 hours, 36 minutes. I think I've actually covered.
But guys, this could be
I'm
our
a
true
baby
calling
at
in the game.
550.
Like, this could be it. If we all become like hardcore mentors and we guide all these new players through the world and bolster up this player base, like we
What
can be
new
responsible
players?
for the resurgence. Of the
Where are these
voraciousness
new
of Final
players?
Fantasy XI.
Wow.
That's what drops it right there.
So the big update that we were supposed to be excited by, Voracious Resurgence, is two quest lines. The first of which we can't complete, and I can't complain about this yet. We can't seem to complete it because we don't know where this item drops, which that isn't in itself bad. Just because nobody's figured it out, that like that's not bad. My concern is I don't think that the content itself is really very long. We are struggling because we don't know where this item drops, but overall, 2 small quest lines is exactly like a huge big old update.
No.
And again, it was sort of made out to be that like this was gonna be the update that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What I thought was interesting was I saw the forum response, and
No, it doesn't go there. It does not go there. Put it back where it was.
this is one of those fun
Don't you
games
tell me
of
what
like guess drunk person or child. And
Oh,
more
was
importantly,
I? I'm getting confused
Yeah,
about my mute button. Oh.
what was the item and where was it going?
It wasn't that important. It was a Bowser amiibo.
I immediately went to like remote control for the TV in the oven. But was it like a Bowser amiibo to like the left of Peach when it should have been like on the right of Peach?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
perfect. That's amazing. Yeah, Smoke and TP on a Discord channel did say that the Mog Bonanza change is actually making me tempted to resub for a month or two. I'm assuming to see the results of whether or not they won. Because regardless of the fact that you can only get 1 instead of 10 marbles now, your chances of getting something valuable from it have gone up significantly.
I mean, hey, Square Enix, developers of Final Fantasy XI, if you want a plan to bring people back every month, make a few more capacity point zones that are fun instead of Mog Bonanza changes. Like, what?
Oh, so guys, we forgot to talk about the biggest detail to come out of this update. One that I woke up to and was almost furious. The Zoom update. So for those of you that didn't see, and if you haven't heard, Zoom is a video chat program, currently the most popular, at least in North America, for video conferencing that has become very important in our new COVID age. Square Enix, in all of their brilliance, decided to pull a little Final Fantasy XI fun into that and added some Final Fantasy XI backgrounds that you can download for Zoom calls. Even though I don't get it. This sounds like a job that you'd maybe give to like an intern. Like, hey, can you quick put together some Zoom backgrounds? But like, I'm assuming there's no interns on the Final Fantasy XI project anymore.
I mean, these are not Zoom backgrounds, guys. These are like,
That's the issue.
It's just a screenshot. Like,
The
it's a
issue-
GIF and a screen.
If you're gonna do it, at least like do it well and take a background appropriate angle of a zone or a spot in game where it looks like you're sitting or standing in that area. What they did was took random screenshots, some of which are not good. I went to the wrong tunnel. I knew I'd do this. The one is underneath the Dark Lord. What's it? The Dark.
The Shadow Lord's
The
crotch.
Shadow Lord. It's just like at his crotch. The one of Sky,
Yeah, that was
the coolest one that could be. You're just like a cool little third perspective out flying in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
The one is like right in the face of a Moogle in the Mog house.
I mean, I would have hoped for at least like an upside down dead Elvon somewhere in the depths of Mona Aqueducts. That would have been great. But
Like they could have made it really cool and released like some, because they can be movies and stuff too. I think like moving videos. I would have loved to see one where you're like in Selbina with characters like running back and forth.
Yeah.
Like that would have been so neat. But no, we got a bad screenshot of Winter Walls.
Yep.
I don't know. I was just it seems like something that game companies do when they're like, oh, we need some like cool publicity.
Yeah.
To like get Final Fantasy XI in some articles again. But like it's not, I don't know if that attention is going to bring new players in. I don't know if it's going to excite old players.
Yeah. Pretty negative right now. They're just not, I don't know. I just feel like they're not really. It'd be, like you said before, it'd be fine if they were like, look guys, like we don't have a big team. We're going to do what we can. The months are going to be pretty like dry for the most part, but we'll try to do something big, you know, in a couple of years. But no, they're like, we got something really big. Sorry we did nothing this month. Literally nothing. We just changed out the ambuscape mobs. We got something huge planned for November. And it's just like,
I mean, if you look at it, October was completely nothing, as you said. September gave us Odyssey Zone B, which well, you know my complaints about Odyssey. Mm-hmm. August gave us Voracious Resurgence, which we've mentioned already, and it also updated Beastmaster, but Hayden's already butchered that enough. I don't need to put any more holes in it. July gave us an Odyssey Zone, again, see notes above. Paladin got an update, but it wasn't the big one. This was just like that afterthought stuff when the shields got defense bonuses, which is really random. June, they capped Sparks, which I actually agreed with, but they should have done it years ago. It's too late now. Everything's still massively overpriced, and it probably will be forever. May, there was no update at all, but I mean, that was COVID, so that's fair enough. April, the Ambu mob swapped. Again, nothing else. So that's like 9 months worth of updates. So for your, what, $100+, that's very little in return.
That's a really good way to put it, actually.
And my problem is that they've spent years pushing to create this essentially vertical progression system, where it's not. It used to be that you could spend years bouncing between different endgame content, getting gear that's all like kind of good at battling against each other. Mm-hmm. And while that's sort of still there is no arguing that like the upgrades that you can get from Omen usually outshine most of what else you can get in the game. And, you know, like the drops from everything we've been fighting.
It's usually a clear, this is best in slot now.
And the content it all funnels to the same content because they blocked out all the 75 era content and created a new 99 era content.
Yeah. Like with what's happened with WoW and like just scaling in general, I do wonder if they just rescaled everything back to 75 or even scaled stuff up to 99 and just left it there. Why do we need all this eye level shit?
I would love to get rid of eye levels.
But,
Omen and Relic Booster, yeah.
People are probably thinking like we hate the game now. We don't. That's the problem. We love this game. We think it's like the best game ever made.
Yeah.
But they just need to fix it.
Well, they keep burying all these amazing, all this amazing content and all these amazing styles of play. They keep kind of wiping out, and they're not replacing it with anything. Except like once a year they'll be like, well, we've got this new thing called Odyssey. I'm like, it's neat, but you time gate us out of it, and it, like you were saying, everything is sort of promoting away from doing things as a group.
Yeah.
To catch up on chat real quick, and I'm leaving Mike open for this one so you guys can respond. Ursa Major, why Zoom? Why not Discord integration? Something that the gaming community actually uses. Yeah, and that's where it feels to me, and I'd love to know everybody else's reaction to that too, because maybe everybody's reaction was like, oh my god, so cool, and like I'm just like, I don't know, cynical and withered. And
yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like a corporate decision where somebody's like, why don't you do something with Zoom? And it wasn't something that a gamer suggested or a developer who's passionate about the game suggested. It seemed like an idea that came from, frankly, and I don't mean this in a bad way, my wife. Somebody who's into PR but doesn't really understand Final Fantasy XI. And they're trying to think based on, you know, directions from somebody above, how can we get the game in the public spotlight more, have more journalists talking about it, etc. And like this is just a way to kind of check that box. Because you're right, why not Discord if you're gonna do this?
Well, I don't think they were Zoom specific, were they?
I don't know how it works. I haven't downloaded the files yet.
Yeah, I think they just call them virtual backgrounds.
I'm sure they were just MP4 videos. I think that's all they were.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were a specific file type for Zoom. I could be wrong. I did not download them yet.
I'm pretty sure they're MP4s.
Wait,
You
so
could
are
use
they?
them on any
Are they? Are they moving backgrounds then?
Some of them are.
Yeah,
A couple of them are. Like the Windhurst one, the birds fly around and stuff. And
I think they're all moving.
That's still sort of a.
The sky one is the waterfall bottom right. You can barely see it, but it's.
But that's the thing is like, yeah, it could have been okay. So they were so close. They were so close.
Like everything they do, it's like they have the idea, but like they don't execute the right way. I don't know.
Oh man. HGallant 2022 Imperium Plus 3 is coming out. I will be. I don't know how I'm gonna feel if like that's what the big update is.
It is. It's gonna be that.
At this point, I can't think of anything else that it could be, because that's the only thing on the pipeline that is they've confirmed over and over again that is coming out.
They're just gonna tie it to some new form of Abyssia. So they can reuse the Abyssia's outs. Yeah.
Let's go. I would be down. I would be into that.
I wouldn't even mind it, but if that is a 2022 like big 20th year anniversary is more Abyssia, like literally, how could you ruin Hunt for Games Day more? But yeah, I think the Zoom update was what bothered me more than anything else. I saw like comment up above saying huge is a relative term when describing huge updates. And I think that's why this one's so frustrating is I feel like every time I get a little bit of hype built up, Square Enix is quick to squash that and be like, no. The game is done. When we say things like huge update, we mean like, you know, a month's worth of work from one guy.
Do you remember how hyped you were, like July, August, when they announced Voracious Resurgence?
Oh my gosh, because but that's the thing is I feel like they've got two teams. They've got the two developers. We keep seeing we think they're the leads, but they're the only people actually working on it. And then they've got this like marketing team, which has kicked it into, at least for Final Fantasy XI, a bit of high gear. And they keep trying weird new things. The Refrender was the first thing, where they're just like trying to pull people in with like cute little videos and tools and ideas to get you thinking about Final Fantasy XI, but nothing that'll actually make the game any better. And that team has been the most active they've been in years, but Capriccio, so they got a budget for 3 years. That's why they're doing more. Yeah, I know, and I think that's what's frustrating me. Is they kept saying things like, you know, we've got this bigger budget, we've got a confirmed 3 years, we're really pumped, we're really excited, and maybe most of that effort is being put towards what's coming out in the future. But every time something comes out that's for right now, besides the first Voracious Resurgence update, which was awesome, it makes me think like, oh, you may have a budget for 3 years, but it still might be like fumes, and there's not really too much coming. But yes, there are some updates. They're gaining subs as is.
First 2 words is the second line.
You mean the words broken promises?
Where are you getting the information that they're gaining subs? I believe it, but I'd be curious about more of those numbers.
Trying to put the pieces together.
And I think Mog's idea that some of those subs that they're getting might be the same players multi-boxing is an interesting take. I don't know how you'd prove that one way or the other. They're making 800,000 plus per month of Final Fantasy XI, which is free money for them, pretty much. I mean, they've got a bare bones skeleton crew, which again, I'm not faulting them for. I'm glad that the game is still available. I'm glad that we can still play it, and I'm excited that it's still out there receiving updates. And maybe this is my fault, but I keep getting in my mind that some of these updates, because they're putting more effort out there, because they've got this 3-year window of funding, that some of those updates are going to be bigger and better. And so far, that I don't know. I'm with updates like this, I feel like they're still putting their money in the wrong place. Like, I'm not sure what is the assistance channel? Why? If that was one developer 1 week, why? I don't understand. I know several people that have 3 to 5 meals. Tool, I know. It's crazy. In interviews, Capriciosa, they said that Azura is as big as it used to be in its prime. That's true. Azure is huge. Unfortunately, the game is all funneling to the same zones and the same content right now, so that model of 4,000 person servers doesn't make any sense anymore. It used to be that players are spread throughout the levels from 1 to 75 in different zones, doing different content all at the same time. And 4,000 just felt like a lively world. Now it's like it feels like a death choke on the 4 zones you need to be in. No, I'm glad we hopped on for this. I was just gonna say I don't mean to complain and act like I think you said it earlier well. Like I don't hate Final Fantasy 11. I'm not upset at Final Fantasy 11. I just keep getting my hopes up that these updates are going to be bigger because of some of the wording that they use, and I have to be careful about how I look at those updates coming in until they come out.
Yeah, I think it's more like frustration than anger. It's not coming from like a really negative place because we just want the best of the game.
Right. Yeah. I'm just kind of like looking at the big update outside of Voracious Resurgence, which doesn't look like it's a huge update. It's a couple small, mostly text-based cutscenes, and some items that you got handed. We don't know what part 2 is. Part 2 could be much more elaborate, but I don't know where the time went this month. It's got to be the assist channel. I think the assist channel had a lot of time put at it, which is where I get frustrated. That's where the frustration comes in. I'm like,
that's when you start thinking, why?
Because as somebody who's been not in the gaming space but in like software development, I've seen this happen where from up above, from a management level, somebody says we need to do this, and they're probably fought back on at various levels, but ultimately the decision is made like we need to improve the new player experience. And then somewhere in some meeting somewhere, somebody said, well, new players don't have anywhere to like ask questions. I don't know. And then all this time and effort goes into this tool that I don't think is going to help anybody. If Final Fantasy XI was in a WoW state, where it's still receiving more money than it's ever had in terms of funding for development and subscribers and everything else. And one of the updates was like, hey, we've introduced an assist channel for new players. I'd be like, cool, neat. I'm sure you're getting a ton of new players. In fact, WoW just revamped their new player experience significantly. But they're also getting more new players than ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it was an interesting decision. And if that was one small change amongst many other updates that were coming this month, or Voracious Resurgence was bigger, or I don't know, there were some job changes and tweaks, all of that would have been totally fine. But like, it seems like that was sort of the big one. Like the assist channel was the big thing. I did see, because I saw the announcement as a Reddit post. I was like, oh, well, let me quick see what Reddit is thinking. And there was like 10 responses saying that people over in the Final Fantasy XI Auction House forums were furious at the update. And I'm sure for a lot of the reasons that we've already discussed. But the Reddit crew was like, I'm still having a great time with the game, which I think is great. And I did want to approach both the positives and negatives of the update, because it isn't all negative. It's just it's negative from the perspective of like, where do you see this game going? Do you believe the game has already sunset itself and been sunsetted, or is it being improved to a future state? And updates like this make me think that we're just kind of hanging on into a sunset.
Yeah, it could be our mindset that's wrong. Rather than enjoying,
I'm often wrong.
Like this retirement home that we're in, rather than enjoying that,
yeah,
we're hoping for something new.
I keep waiting for them to build the new movie theater in my retirement home, and I'm just not playing the Xbox that's over in the corner. Is that what you're saying? Like I should just be enjoying?
Exactly.
No, actually, that's an interesting approach, because honestly, a lot of my frustration has come from the idea that over the past year we've been sort of hinted at, even before that, when they started revamping, they were going to do the North American Fan Festival.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They sort of were suggesting through actions and some words that Final Fantasy XI was having a bit of a voracious resurgence, and its previous attempt to be sunset failed, and they were sort of bringing it back to life. And it was going to go from like a keeping the lights on to a what could this become? And that mindset for me has in many ways ruined 11. Because now I expect way too much from like everything. But I mean, they had a full year of like updates to jobs every month, and it's not, the signs are still there, but then it seems like I get worried when they say things like, don't worry, we've got a big update coming in November, and the update is something like this.
Yeah.
But is that my mindset? Is it just because I'm expecting a fresh new cool game, and they're really just keeping the lights on, just with some slight more excitement than usual? I am still optimistic. If people are wondering why I wake up and I see the patch notes and the updates like this, and I'm not like thrilled to see so many updates, I just the content of the updates I have to question.
Like, let me just read to you all real quick read here. Just like the overview. It's like, look, listen to how epic this sounds compared to what we've done thus far. Only a short time passed before small eggs of unknown origin started appearing in all manner of places throughout Vana'diel. Eggs whispered of in the oldest of beastmen legends. It falls to Vana'diel's finest adventurers to uncover the truth behind this enigmatic phenomenon. Peer behind the veil of death and unravel the tangled threads of a conspiracy that threatens the very fabric of the world.
All right, let's compare that to what we've actually done. We had a fashion show, and we put a baby Galka into a goblin costume. To be fair, which was an amazing update. And then after that, we found some eggshells and beat up a goblin. Beat the snot out of a goblin.
Oh my god! For
about the 100,000th time in this game. That is true. They just sell it. They sell it like it's going to be the most amazing thing, and maybe it is. Maybe it's like every other Final Fantasy XI update ever, where 9 out of the 10 quest lines are boring as hell. But you know what? That last one, we're going to fight the Dread Dragon. It's going to be amazing.
But like chapter 1 should have been like one update, and then this should have been the second one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is like the...
What level is this Goblin Nurse Major? I don't know. It was not 119, I'll tell you that.
We like one-shotted it. Like, why is the thing before part 1 coming soon still? Also, that's weird. And like look at the artwork. This like Dark Aegis, and like we were like, yeah, they're gonna make dark versions of the.
we had so many contents. I want to pull up the old video and be like, all right, what were our theories about how amazing this is gonna be?
I never posted a follow-up to that video, even though I promised one at the end, just because of how.
We should post a follow-up and be like, all right, so our theories were dark dynamics with dark relics, brand new weapons. It looks like based on Tavnazia being in the background that they're restoring the entire leveling experience based on what we can understand. And what we've actually gotten is Goomba dress up. And we got to see Sid's teeth again for the first time in a while, which was nice.
That's the best part of the whole thing so far.
Shantoto dressed up as a different Tara, which makes me realize how much I need Shantoto's outfit to realize it's her.
Okay.
Now, the question is, where did you die? Oh no, stop.
I love that.
No.
It's so funny.
No. Eric, I can get back.